that cue to call thing still? Is this the last week?
Get started today at iHeart Advertising.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
If you can plan barbecue,
Of course it is. I just figured out my timing, so of course it's time for it to go away.
Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department...
Just write down the timing because it'll be back in the end of June or July.
Peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover.
As soon as I hear the phrase "in your car,"
lost wages,
start it now. It times out
to learn
perfect.
More, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GRAND. That's GRAND. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, the Sportsocracy. Coming to you live from the Ingalls studio, heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen everywhere on the YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. Coming to us from the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor, one Flosterdamus Jeremy Greene.
We in this piece. What'd it do?
Did you have a good weekend? All is well in the Greene household.
Oh, I got fried at the pool. That was less than ideal.
It looks a little pink.
Well, I mean, that's the only bad thing about having the skin complexion of the interior wall of a low rent apartment. You go outside and the sun is like that angry sun in Mario. Just no, you stay in the house.
How stark is the line underneath the hat?
The hat's not bad. The line on my leg is hilarious. It is, if you had taken a ruler and just drawn a red line on my leg, it would not be any more emphatic than this is.
Been there, done that.
I also fell asleep, which is, no
fun.
I live by a simple philosophy. If you French fry when you're supposed to pizza, you're going to have a bad time. With my skin complexion, if you fall asleep outside in May, you're going to have a bad time.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. Did I ever tell you about the time I fell asleep at a Citadel football game?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Watching Citadel and Appalachian State. And it was not good. It was not good at all. Down there in Charleston, sitting on those concrete bleachers, 12 o'clock in the afternoon on August the 28th or whatever that first game of the season was. Not a good idea. I was hurting for days. Don't ever do that.
So basically, you have a story at a Wofford football game that's a lot like the San Francisco 49ers circa Friday.
Because they boo-boo kiddied big time.
I knew something was up because Friday afternoon, I'm sitting in the office. My phone stays on the desk. My microphone is on the vast majority of the time, and I have these headphones on a lot. I've got a wireless pair that I use when we're not doing the show. All of a sudden, my phone goes ballistic for 2 or 3 solid minutes, and I went, something is amiss in Gotham City. I grab the phone, and the first thing I see is a message from one of the listeners of this show that said, have you seen how much money Brock Purdy just got? I was laughing before I saw it because I knew, and I was so close. I was actually a little low, but I was so close. Can I just ask a theoretical question?
Okay.
How does this go well, per se?
Don't know. You make a deal with the devil, and for some reason, every player on that team gets better than they actually are, and you're gonna have to start drafting well.
All right, so
I don't know how this gets any better.
So a guy that last year with Deebo Samuel and a defense that was better than what you have right now. I turned the ball over. He had 12 interceptions. I think he lost a couple fumbles. He had 14 turnovers. I remember seeing that somewhere. Now you're going to multiply his salary by 57 times. You can't afford Deebo Samuel anymore, so now it's his little boyfriend, Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, who might be the most overrated player in the NFL, and Ricky Pearsall, with George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey, we hope, behind a line that is, I'll say suspect, just because I'm in a good mood and I'm being nice, and a defense that you better hope Robert Saleh is to defense what Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA. It better be the only watchable thing you got.
Because if he's not,
you are LMNO screwed.
Oh, yeah. You will give up a bunch of points this year if he's not.
So today,
I don't know.
We're starting our win-loss projections for every team in the NFL. Today we're doing the AFC and NFC South. We are affiliates of teams in the NFC South, so we start there. I'm not going to lie to you. I did San Francisco's, and I'm not going to lie. Their record was better than I thought it would be. They're still not in the playoffs. They still didn't threaten to make the playoffs. And I don't.
Horrible.
Well, the schedule's not that bad. It's just I look at this team and go, who is it that you're better than? Just being honest with yourself. All right, supposedly San Francisco got one of the easier schedules in the NFL. I've heard that over and over again since the schedule came out.
Yes.
So week 1, you are at Seattle against Sam Darnold. Advantage Sea Chickens. Hey, week two though, you get New Orleans and Tyler Shook. That one's for you. Then in order, you go Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, Michael Penix, C.J. Stroud. How many of those games do you, honest to God, feel really good that Brock Purdy's better than the quarterback on the other side? Because for me, it's none of them.
No, I would say at least 2 of them.
Penix and who? If you say I was about to say, if you say Trevor Lawrence, I'm gonna laugh till I urinate on myself.
Really?
Brock Purdy. All right, let's play a game. Put Brock Purdy in Jacksonville. Put Trevor Lawrence in San Francisco. How do you think that career trajectory has changed? If Trevor Lawrence had been drafted 3rd overall by the San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy was the franchise quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Do you think Brock's getting $265 million? Because I don't.
Yeah.
I think Trevor Lawrence is the baseline of what you're getting. He is in the worst situation humanly possible. Brock might be in the top 5 best situation humanly possible, and I'd still take Trevor Lawrence. And didn't even think about it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I think he's close to Michael Penix. Hell, you know how I feel about Baker Mayfield. I didn't think about that one for a second. Yep, Baker. Give me Baker. It's fine. And then you just keep doing it. Yeah, you get the Giants. You get Carolina. You get Cleveland. Other than that, it's advantage team you're playing. And your defense is not that good anymore. I'd take Cam Ward over Brock Purdy. Sheer talent, it's not even close.
Okay.
It's not even close. And now you're paying this guy like he's C.J. Stroud, like he's Jaden Daniels, like he's Josh Allen. He's not. He's not that guy. He's never been that guy. And the only argument anybody can ever give me is, well, he had the 10th. He threw for the 10th most yards in the league. Okay. You know why that argument is really dumb, right?
Why is that dumb?
Do you know who threw for the 4th most yards in the NFL last year?
Baker Mayfield.
No, that was 3. No, this is actually dumber than that. Geno Smith was 4. Sam Darnold was 5. Aaron freaking Rodgers was 8. Like, Aaron Rodgers, I honest to God thought was wagering against the Jets for half of the year. He finished 8th, and that was ahead of Brock Purdy. No, but Brock only played 15 games. I don't care. Okay, bump him up to 4. Who cares? Watch the games. It wasn't that hard to figure out. You know, when you get behind, you look really average. And when I say really average, I'm being super nice. And I'm gonna draw a parallel here. The worst game Brock Purdy had all year last year was against who?
Oh, I have no idea.
The Kansas City Chiefs. He was 17 of 31, 3 interceptions, had an 11.2 QBR. Does that sound fun? Any of that sound fun? No. You know why it was that way? Because they were trailing the entire game. You know who else he looked really bad against? The Buffalo Bills, because they got their brains bashed out 35-10. You know who else he looked really bad against? The Los Angeles Rams, where he had a 22.6 QBR and was just absolutely horrific. Hey, but he beat the bejesus out of the Detroit Lions, who didn't have the only pass rusher on the team. Hey, he was really good against the Miami Dolphins, who have a corner on the entire team. And I can do this every year he's been in the NFL. He preys on mediocre defenses. And with Brock Purdy, the only thing I ever hear when his name comes up is that old Cat Williams line about a Chrysler 300. Yeah, it looks like a Phantom till a Phantom drive by. And then all of a sudden it looks like a Chrysler 300. And that's exactly what Brock Purdy is. But you just paid a Phantom price for a Chrysler 300. It's a fine car. It'll get you where you're going most of the time.
Mm-hmm. When everything is advantageous.
When everything's advantageous, but it's not anymore.
Right, but we've talked about time and time again how, Brock, well, he was missing weapons, right? That was the excuse last year and the year before was, Debo's hurt. Brandon Ayuk's hurt. Whoever else is hurt. Christian McCaffrey has been hurt. He needs everything advantageous to be going his way to look like the quarterback that would be worth this. An average of $53 million a year for a pretty average quarterback when it counts most.
In terms of AAV, he is now the 3rd highest paid quarterback in the NFL. They also have the highest AAV tight end in the league. Mm. They have the 3rd highest tackle in the league and the 2nd highest running back in the league. What does that tell you?
Wait, where's Fred Warner?
I think they're renegotiating Fred. I heard somebody say something about Fred was working on a deal.
They're doing an extension. Yeah, they're trying to get an extension done with him.
He'll be the highest paid inside linebacker in the league. Right now, that's Roquan Smith.
$28 million.
Do I know?
Mm-hmm. I was saying he's already $28 million against the cap this year.
That's the cap. That's not AAV. Mm-hmm. That's you can move money around doing that. AAV is what this contract's going to cost on average every single year. So it might be less some years, it might be more some years. Fred Warner's going to eclipse $20 million in Roquan Smith. So you're going to have, unequivocally, you're going to have 6 guys, because Bosa's up there as well. You're going to have 6 guys that are in the top 5 of their position in terms of where they are paid. Fred Warner's an elite inside linebacker. I could make the argument not one other guy in that set deserves to be there. Kittle because of injuries and age. Christian McCaffrey, 100% because of injuries. Trent Williams because of age. Bosa's really good when he's good, and then he has games where you're like, and look, I know he's had some nagging injuries. I'm not diminishing the talent at all. I'm trying to prove a point here of this is a Fabergé egg that's sitting on a car hood, and you're praying to God the wind doesn't blow. Because if it does, you're going to have broken porcelain pieces on the ground, and that's going to be your 2025 San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that becomes the 2026, and the 2027, and the 2028. Like, you never get out of this cycle because you have so many high-end contracts that you can't put other talent around them. Unless you draft well. And guess what? You don't. You don't.
You take kickers in the third round, and you take defensive tackles that have absolutely no production whatsoever, and you take nose tackles to play defensive tackle, and you take these little 5'10 linebackers because he's a San Francisco 49er. Okay. All right. Keep doing that. That's fine. It works when it works, and when it doesn't work, you look like morons. And I'm afraid that you're headed down that rabbit hole. We have a couple super chats, and then we have a question in the YouTube chat that I want to address before we go into the break.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Our first one's from Sir Jimothy. He is in the city of his NFL team, Dallas. Down there with Jarrah, trying to get everything worked out. He's down there for work. Just wanted to stop by, say howdy, and support. We appreciate that. Safe travels, my friend. Enjoy that city, and here's a solid piece of advice, and I need you to not ask any questions. There is a district in Dallas that has 3 gentlemen's clubs. Avoid that like grim death. You do not go in there. You will be calling us going, hey, could I borrow like $400 for a... And I'm not saying I did that. I'm also not saying I didn't do it.
Sure.
So, and then we have one more.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
It's from Red Sea, who said if Trevor Lawrence was drafted by San Francisco, he would have hit his ceiling. Exactly. Trevor Lawrence in San Francisco would be out of this world. Look what they've gotten out of Brock Purdy, who's just not that good. Trevor Lawrence went into the worst situation humanly possible. San Francisco, on the other hand, I was thinking about this last night of how I was going to say this on the show. We've all done this. So you can call me the jackal here if you want to. It's fine. We've all been in relationships with women that we did not necessarily see a long-term future with because we're having fun. You ever seen where things go? She's great. She's awesome. But the minute that M word comes up, you change the subject immediately. The problem is that she's expecting a ring. That causes a lot of friction. San Francisco just got tired of the argument and threw the ring out there. So now you're committed to we'll say a good time. This is not your long term. This is not your future. It's not any of those things. But you're paying him like it is. Mm-hmm. And Randy L. asked a question in our YouTube chat that I want to dive into for just a minute here. If you were starting a franchise right now from scratch, and you could take any quarterback in the NFL, how many would you take before Brock Purdy?
Oh, Lord.
And I'm gonna extend that a hair. All right, let's say money was no object. The money doesn't matter.
Right, money doesn't matter.
On sheer talent, how many would you take him in front of? And I'm just going to go off the top of my head, stream of conscious. Josh Allen, Drake May, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward, Bo Nix, Pat Mahomes, Geno Smith, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold, Michael Penix, Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, Jordan Love. I'm not going to say J.J. McCarthy, although I do want to touch on him. When we do Minnesota in a couple days, I do want to talk about J.J. McCarthy for a minute. Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. Do you understand that means he's 23 in talent by itself, and now he's the third highest paid quarterback in the league? And I'll be honest with you, I don't think one of them I said is even spicy. If you want to take Bo Nix out, okay. If you want to take Cam Ward out because he hadn't played a game, okay.
Yeah.
You're still not getting him in the top 20.
Sure.
Then you had the contract
That's what happens when you win games, though. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, I'm so glad you said that.
That was the problem that I had the entire time, was that San Francisco kept winning games with him.
God, I'm so glad you said that.
And even though he wasn't great, they got stuck. They felt like they had to pay for the wins.
I'm so glad you said that way. Because I'm going to draw you a parallel, and once you see it, you'll never unsee it.
And we'll do that when we come back here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. And clear.
All right.
Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks,
we'll start. You want to just start win-loss projections in the next hour? Do AFC in hour 2, NFC in hour 3?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
Correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career. Visit dac.nc.gov/co-jobs.
iHeartRadio's got you covered for the summer. Hit play on the perfect summer playlist like Summer Classics. Road tripping with commercial-free weekends on Smells Like the 90s. Or zone out in the shade with a good podcast. Your summer soundtrack is already in your pocket with the free iHeartRadio app. Find your next summer preset now.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls. Low prices. Love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
It is ESPN Asheville. We are the Sportsocracy. And Brock Purdy is going to make, under the new contract, once it all gets finalized, he will make more per week than he made in his entire rookie contract. As the Mr. Irrelevant pick, he's only made like $2.6 million in his career so far. He will be making $2.9 million a week with his new $265 million contract with the San Francisco 49ers. Was 181 reportedly guaranteed, which means he is being paid like an elite quarterback. But elite, he is not, correct?
I don't even think that's debatable. He's not elite.
Mm-hmm.
He's not elite. Before the break, I told you I'm going to draw a parallel that you're never going to unsee, because what you said was you kept winning games, so I've got to pay you.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to give you I'm going to phrase or frame something for you, and I want you to tell me who I'm talking about. 3-year span, guy goes 25-15 as the starter. In year 4, he has injury issues. Or it's actually year 5. Rookie year was a little up and down. 3 years directly preceding to making a decision on the contract. He goes 25-15. Has an injury-riddled last year. Team taps out, goes to the backup. This guy finished 3rd in MVP voting in year 2 of his career. Who am I talking about?
I don't know.
Carson Wentz. It's the exact same scenario. You're winning games. Mm-hmm. You saw enough in that last year when he went 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. He was hurt. It was very obvious coming off the knee injury. He had the comeback player of the year where he was fine. He was very obviously not as mobile. You knew he wasn't elite. They took Jalen Hurts after the comeback year. It took 1 year of them watching Carson Wentz to go, nope, you're not the one. You're not the one. You're not the one that's going to lead us to the promised land. And what did they do? They shipped him away to the Indianapolis Colts. Then he's bounced around the league like a ping pong ball. I'm going to ask you a theoretical question. You said you had to pay Brock Purdy because of the wins.
Yes.
Why did you have to pay Brock Purdy? Would it have hurt anything for you to franchise tag him?
No.
No.
It would not.
No. Now, if you had have franchise tagged him and you had told all 31 teams in the NFL, you can have Brock Purdy as your starting quarterback for the cost of, we'll say, 3 premium draft picks. I'm not going to narrow down on what that is because quarterback trades are infinitely harder to make than people think.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 3 ones, I'll tell you that much. For a handful of top 100 to top 125 draft picks, you can have Brock Purdy, but you have to deal with the contract. Who would have jumped up to say, I'm in?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, maybe.
Pittsburgh is the one that I look at and go, that one makes sense. I could see Pittsburgh going, you know what? We've won with guys like this before. The only thing I would caution you on is they didn't like Jackson Dart because he reminded them of Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
If Brock Purdy doesn't remind you at least a little bit of Kenny Pickett, I don't think you've ever watched these two play football.
Right.
Because they have similarities. That's not a shot at Brock, and it's not a prop up for Kenny Pickett. It's in the same vein. You say you have to pay Brock Purdy. The only reason that you have to pay Brock Purdy is if you think there is no chance that you can find a quarterback who is better than him. This year, you had the opportunity to draft every quarterback in this draft class not named Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Jackson Dart over Brock Purdy right now. As a prospect, I get him cheap as dirt for 5 years. I'll take Jackson Dart right now. Wouldn't have thought about it twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll throw it out there. Brock Purdy can be had by the highest bidder. And I'm going to go conspiracy theorist. I think they did. I think they did do that. I think they went to Pittsburgh and to all of these other teams that have quarterback issues and went, what would you give us for Brock Purdy? And they didn't like the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was no traction on this deal. Does the timing of it not strike you as a little strange? They get this deal done 2 weeks after the NFL draft. Is that not odd to you? Or 3 weeks? Whatever.
Yeah. It's been a while.
So they went through every potential procedure that they could that could possibly lead to them having a quarterback that they felt good about. And that's when they revved up conversations with Brock Purdy.
But did they? That's my question. Did they have that conversation? Did they offer him up? Because I don't know that they would. I don't know that they would. I don't know that I believe that they've constantly been in the frame of mind of this is our quarterback.
Then explain to me why this deal took so long. This was discussed.
I guess they didn't want to pay him $50 million, and they realized, I guess.
This was discussed last offseason. Brock Purdy's on record as saying, we've already addressed this.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened for over a calendar year. As soon as the draft is over, that's the first time I heard that they were actively talking to each other. And that you know what? It's going to be easy. And I told you, as soon as that report came out that negotiations are going great, we're going to get this done, I told you, there's something weird about that.
Mm-hmm.
Every quarterback outside of the Josh Allens and the Pat Mahomes and even Lamar Jackson had acrimonious negotiations. Now, that was probably because his mother was negotiating his deal, but it's neither here nor there. Every mid-tier quarterback, or even a step above that, they all have some acrimony in their negotiations. Brock Purdy had none. The only thing that makes sense there is San Francisco looked at it and went, we're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else we can do. We don't buy the rookie quarterbacks. We can't go into this year with C.J. Beathard or Nick Mullins or any of the other list of losers that we've had as the backup quarterback of this team. This is the only one we've even come close on. We had to give up high-level draft capital to get Jimmy Garoppolo. Other than that, it's been a lot of, well, John Lynch wanted Mac Jones. Cool. He's awful. Kyle Shanahan wanted Trey Lance. Cool. He was awful. You hit on one. So here's where that goes in my brain. San Francisco became the loser guy that went out every single night trying to find somebody to get up with the get down. And the first one that said yes, they threw a ring on it.
Mm-hmm.
Red flags be damned. Doesn't matter. We got to have a quarterback. We got to have this one.
But the main question is why? If all you say is true, and they did go through all of these, and you know, I know you're just spitballing in some scenarios here, but if they did do all of this, and they did all the background, they walked down the path with every possible suitor, and nobody wanted Brock Purdy, then why give him $53 million a year?
Because he's not accepting anything else.
Pay him that.
Because he's not accepting anything else.
Then let him walk. If nobody else is going to pay him that, then I will gladly go down that path.
No. Don't convolute this. I said you would send him out there of, I've got to get draft capital back and you pay him. If Brock Purdy hit the open market, oh, good Lord, yes. There would be somebody that would pay him a stupid amount of money.
Well, there you go.
For sure.
I'm not
just like
to take that gamble.
Just like every train wreck girl that you've ever met in your life can go to the honky tonk on Saturday night, and there's one guy that's just blowing through stop signs. Like, I see 84 red flags, but I don't care. She's got a dagger tattoo, and she told me I was cute, and she wants to boot scoot. And every single time, it's a train wreck. That's Brock Purdy in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy is the girl with the really thick eyeliner, the tattoo of a dagger. She's got a pet snake, and you see that guy every single week going, hey, what are you drinking? San Francisco just married that girl.
Yep.
Good luck, because I've read this book before. As a matter of fact, I've read it with my team. The name Mark Sanchez mean anything to you? Because it does to me. It haunts my nightmares. Oh, he's made it to the AFC Championship game twice. Did he, though? Or was he the quarterback of a team that made it there? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure Rex Ryan's foot fetish didn't have more to do with the Jets getting there than Mark Sanchez did.
Oh, but you couldn't let it go because of all the winning.
Oh,
because it would be a nightmare if you just let it walk.
Exactly, because then you went Geno Smith and you bounced around Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh McCown and all the way up through Aaron Rodgers and now Justin Fields. You want to know why I understand this so well? Because I've lived it. Because I've lived it over and over and over again. And trust me, I know how bad it is to look at a season and go, we're starting the year with Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. It's not awesome. You know what really feels bad? When you look at your quarterback and go, we have the third highest paid quarterback in the league. I'm not sure we have the third best quarterback in our own division.
Mr. System Quarterback, Mr. Dink and Dunk. How many misters can you put? Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, being paid like a top 5 quarterback in the league, and he's not one. The San Francisco 49ers basically just cashing in, closing the window.
Oh, I don't think this was just closing the window. I think this was slamming it.
Right. The way this roster is constructed, you're not deep enough. You've been passed by almost everybody in your division.
I firmly believe they're the worst team. They're the worst team in this division to me. Talent-wise, I'm not telling you that they're going to finish that way.
Right.
If you told me roster for roster, head coach for head coach, front office from the top down, San Francisco is the worst team in the NFC West. I'd take the Cardinals, I'd take the Seahawks, and I would easily take the Rams. The Rams are light years ahead of them. The other two, it's close. The other two, it's close because they've just historically not been. Seattle outside of Pete Carroll's been pretty much a train wreck. Arizona outside a handful of years has pretty much been a train wreck. So, I mean, that's the reason you do that. But if you're looking at the roster 1 to 53, it's not even close. You're just afraid that the franchise is going to run it into the rocks, but you trust San Francisco.
Yeah.
I don't.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We'll be right back.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Beautiful weather continuing to push in here on a Monday. Some wet.
I'll be right back.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Not going to be a bunch, though. I think there will be more hours of dry than wet both days. But sun today, low 80s, not bad. Beautiful this afternoon and this evening. Tonight, a few clouds, 62. Tomorrow, clouds, sun, just a passing shower, possibly a thunder shower, still near 80. And Wednesday, maybe a few showers in the first part of the day, 85. But highs may not get out of the low 70s late week. That's your Hickory Metro weather from the Weather Channel. Race stage at Goldies Radio for the Hickory Metro.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Wondering what a personal message with your credit card number has in common with way too many pictures of your dog? Well, they're both private. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
55 Beatty, Greenville. CordellCordell.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball,
What's your
games,
outside
bringing the
story
Fan
about?
Fest to semi-pro soccer,
Manute Bowl,
to the ball
Okay,
game,
mine's about
Margarita
Antonio
Park.
Brown,
It's all in
and
the bag.
it's
Ingles,
a
low
double
prices,
story.
Love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and, big news in the NBA over the weekend. No, it didn't have anything to do with what was happening on the court, because, this is going to be fun, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Currently, Adam Silver is wound tighter than a banjo string right now, going, please, God, let it be the Knicks. I don't ask for much.
The cities of Indianapolis and Minneapolis are all on edge right now.
I want to
host the NBA Finals.
I so want to see what an NBA Finals between the Indiana Pacers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I want to see what that number would be, because I'm going to level with you. I think it would lose to Caitlin Clark. I really do. I think it would lose to Caitlin Clark.
No.
Have you ever met?
I don't think it would do that bad.
Have you ever met a Minnesota Timberwolves fan?
No.
I don't think they exist. I honest to God think they hang out with like Sasquatches. They're out in the woods. They don't really exist. I think it's like a taping of The View. They have to pay 500 people to show up to make people think that somebody actually wants to watch this.
In my life, I only knew 4 Minnesota Timberwolves fans, and I don't think the McCants family is still on the bandwagon. Just a shot in the dark.
I'm going to bet. I would love to see what would happen if Rashad showed up in that stadium. Like, no. But I have a ticket. Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't
Same
care.
thing would happen if he shows up at the Dean Dome.
Yeah. You'd probably be better received at the Target Center than you would at the Dean
You may
Dome.
get Antonio Brown. More on that in just a moment.
That's
what
called
we
a
call
tease.
That's right. My story is about Manute Bowl, because that was the big news of the NBA for me over the weekend, was that we finally got confirmation of the thing we all knew. Was Manute Bowl was not 19 years old. He was not 20 years old. He was not 23 years old. He wasn't even 27 years old when he came into the NBA. The guy who recruited him first has come out now and officially made it official and admitted that, yes, he did make up his birth date. Kevin Mackey was the one who recruited him to Cleveland State University, and he said, I knew that if we put down the real date of his birth, he wouldn't be looked at by pro scouts or anything.
Well, I mean, that's because he would have been 37 years old when he was a freshman in college.
Right. Pro scouts aren't really interested in bringing on a 35-year-old. But when I put down that he's 19, it looks a little bit better. So he said that he probably was 40, 50 years old when he was playing in the NBA, which has been blobbed out there before. I don't remember who it was. One of his former teammates swore to God that he was like 58 years old or something.
He was in the league. He was getting the AARP catalogs sent to the locker room.
Right. But also, I mean, doesn't it make it better? Doesn't that make like his couple of years of relevance in the NBA? Doesn't that make you feel better about it though? Like, man, that guy was a prolific shot blocker, and he was 20 years older than Charles Barkley.
Hey, why did Manute miss the game tonight? He had to get his prostate checked.
Right.
That's a weird thing for a 25-year-old dude to be doing. What does he have to do with a 25-year-old dude? His kids are 25.
Right.
My story is about Antonio Brown, and no, it's not the story you think I'm going to tell. If you don't know the story you think I'm going to tell, Antonio Brown went to a boxing event held by a YouTube influencer. One thing led to another. Antonio Brown got jumped. There's a video, and at the end of it, he winds up with a gun in his hand. And I'm not going to lie to you. If you had told me Antonio Brown is going to a boxing event held by a YouTuber and not told me anything else, I think I could have written the end of that.
I know.
Old CT ESPN himself, I'm not surprised that's how that went. He's officially getting into that Pac-Man Jones territory. Tommy Segura used to have a joke on stage of, if you don't know who Pac-Man Jones is, he went to a strip club and a bunch of people got shot. And then that happened 2 more times. Pac-Man! This story has nothing to do with that. This is about Bill Belichick and something that I never thought was going to be a thing, but it is. Bill Belichick was a guest on The Pivot, which is that podcast that Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder do. They opened up Bill's book, The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football, and they started asking Bill questions. Bill opens up about a story that once happened between Antonio Brown and Tom Brady. So Tom really pushes for Antonio Brown to come to New England. He only played 1 game. It was against the Miami Dolphins. It went famously badly. This story should tell you that they knew this was going to go bad long before it did. I'm going to read the quote verbatim. Tom had Antonio come and stay at his house, wanted to embrace him, bring him onto the team. So Antonio ordered this special milk for Tom Brady, which cost $5,000.
Milk?
Milk. They did not elaborate on what this milk was. He was asked, but he didn't really know. Bill continued. To make a long story short, it got mixed up and ended up in the mailroom for too long, and the milk went bad. So we go out and get $5,000 worth of this special milk and give it to Tom from Antonio. Sometimes you just got to do the right thing, and I didn't want to ruin the relationship between Antonio Brown and Tom Brady on spoiled milk. Mm-hmm. Okay. There are no less than 3 questions that I have here. 1, if you spent $5,000 on milk, would you not know the second it landed?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, do you not have Amazon tracking? I know if a package lands on my doorstep, I know it. A, I've got a camera out there. B, I get an alert the second it drops. Mm-hmm. Antonio just leaves it sitting there for however long it takes for milk to go bad.
Right.
2, what kind of...
got stuck in the mailroom?
Yes.
For $5,000, did they not put a perishable sticker on the side of that thing? Said, hey, you
for sure.
Refrigerate, maybe?
My second question is, as a man, if you're wanting to ingratiate yourself to another man,
mm-hmm.
would you ever buy him milk?
No.
Okay, third.
If I'm spending $5,000 on that milk, it better come out of somebody famous.
Damn it, you beat me to the joke. You beat me to the joke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There is only one kind of milk in this world that is worth $5,000, and it is not something for human consumption. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, I feel like this confirms that Tom Brady is not of this world, and he runs on fluid that
it's unicorn blood.
Yeah,
that's what he's been drinking. He's
yeah,
Voldemort. He's just been living off of the blood of fictitious animals all of his life because $5,000 on milk is ridiculous.
Gary Burt said they milked a prize-winning bull.
100%. That's never mind.
Detroit fan man, you win. You win. You win. You win today. I don't think anybody's going to top this. If you've got to ask about the $5,000 milk, pure Cambodian, you win today. If you don't know, Google it. Game blouses.
Oh, good Lord.
We have breaking news, by the way.
Oh, we do? Okay. Let's.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
That dance just it's worse in the offseason. I don't know why that is. It's worse in the offseason. The Philadelphia Eagles have rewarded their Super Bowl champion head coach with a multi-year extension. 5-year deal for Nick Sirianni.
Okay.
Woof. Okay.
What do you mean, woof? Of course you're going to give him a
I know. To me, Nick Sirianni and Brock Purdy are similar.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he's a great coach? No, I don't. Do I think that's a great organization? Yes. Yes, I do. By the way, what up, Joe D? Glad you landed on your feet in Philadelphia, as we all knew you would.
I was going to say, who didn't see that coming?
Look, Philadelphia is such a good organization that I'm not sure Yosemite Sam couldn't be the head coach of that team.
Right.
I'm not sure we couldn't trot Tank out there as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and they'd still go 10-7.
But there's no way you can look at that guy and go, yeah, I'm done.
No. You know what the difference is?
Super Bowl.
Oh, there you go. There's the difference. He just won a Super Bowl.
Right. Brock only got you to one. I get it. But still, it's the best success that you've had since the last time you went to the Super Bowl, I guess.
Nick Sirianni's one of those guys that it's so funny to me because you talk to Philadelphia Eagle fans and they defend him in a very passive way. Hey, he won a Super Bowl. We love Nick. Is he a great coach? We love Nick. He's Okay.
He's the leader of this team.
We just had somebody
but
go.
Is he any good at it? Well, he is the leader of this team.
We just had somebody go hard in the paint on something we said about Nick Sirianni months ago. I'll never understand how people randomly find those things. You have to go looking for it. But they went hard in the paint on it, and my rebuttal was, but is he a good coach? I'm still waiting for the response. That was over a week ago.
It's a tough question to answer because there are so many examples that you could give of, well, maybe I'd have done things differently. I wouldn't have handled that in that certain fashion. But, there again, been to a Super Bowl, been to a couple Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl now. Of course he's getting the 5-year deal. It's much different, though. I mean, you can back out of a coach's contract easier than a quarterback's contract.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I mean, Philadelphia, okay, maybe I wouldn't have done it. I don't know what the number is on this yet. I don't think anybody does, do they? Do we know what the salary is on this 5-year deal?
I haven't seen it yet, but usually when these deals break, that comes out within minutes, and this just came down a few minutes ago.
Right. So I don't know what you gave him yet, but would I have done it? Maybe not. However, I can end that next year.
Oh, I fully understand why they did it.
Deal after he won a Super Bowl, and that lasted a year.
Oh, I mean, look, I fully understand why they did it. You had to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's still nothing on the number.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give that to you when we find it.
Exactly. Philadelphia Eagles signing Nick Sirianni to a reported 5-year, just multi-year contract extension.
It's 5 year.
Is it 5 years?
Yeah, it's 5 year. I don't remember which one reported it. I got 47 alerts. So I would give you credit if I could decipher the 42 of you that sent it out at the same time.
Right. He was getting ready to go into the last year of his last 5-year contract.
Yes, he signed a 5-year deal when he became the coach of the Eagles.
Right. So, again, getting the extension. Again, we'll give you the details as they come in. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The AFC South and the NFC South. How is that going to shake out this year? Official record predictions for 2026. Coming up next here in the Sportsocracy.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Beautiful weather continuing to push in here on a Monday. Some wet weather around Tuesday, Wednesday. Not going to be a bunch, though. I think there will be more hours of dry than wet both days. But sun today, low 80s, not bad. Beautiful this afternoon and this evening. Tonight, a few clouds, 62. Tomorrow, clouds, sun, just a passing shower, possibly a thunder shower, still near 80. And Wednesday, maybe a few showers in the first part of the day, 85. But highs may not get out of the low 70s late week. That's your Hickory Metro weather from the Weather Channel. Race stage at Goldies Radio for the Hickory Metro.
This report is
Did you hear that?
sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it happened at the bottom of the hour, too.
Just $30 and under, like dresses, shoes and bags, men's, and even kids' looks. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery. So he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Lowe's knows that summer starts with Memorial Day deals. Right now, select paint, primer, and stains, or buy one, get one 50% off via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets for just $15. Shop these Memorial Day deals before they're gone. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/28. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Straight Talk might not be on your shopping list, but it should be. Next time you're grabbing some milk off the shelf at your local Walmart, stop by the Straight Talk aisle and switch to real unlimited data. It's quick and convenient. It won't even take up room in your cart.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime
What team you want to start with?
teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best.
You want to start at the bottom and work your way up?
Customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may
Yep,
need.
we can do that.
High quality.
Or do we want to start with the hometown team?
Visit mtngraphicsavl.com.
Well, I think we're starting in the AFC. So.
avl.com. That's MTN.
Okay, good to know.
We had already, you just said that.
For your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way.
I just said what?
Ingalls Table at Ingalls
start with the AFC.
Or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And
Oh, I said them both. I didn't know where we started.
Love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes. like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
From the Ingalls Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls Studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check for your wallet first before hitting the drive-thru.
$6.
Okay, welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. 92, but I don't know why that just will not stop. Okay.
I'm telling you, possessed by the devil. I thought it was me for a minute. I went, nope, that's not possible.
Where is that coming from? I have no idea, but there it is. Anyhow, welcome back into the program here on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy's heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. And on this Monday, it's time to talk about the in-depth schedule predictions for the upcoming NFL season. So, Jeremy, since the schedule came out, you've had more time to kind of digest where we're at, what the matchups are going to be, who got screwed, who has to go on the road, to travel 45,000 miles this year. Seattle Seahawks. Sorry, you always get the shaft. In the AFC South, who's going to be the worst team in this division?
Well,
is it going to be the Indianapolis Colts, or is it going to be the Tennessee Titans?
Well, I mean, look, it's close, but I have the Tennessee Titans as the worst team in this division.
Okay.
Their schedule is not awesome. Like, if we're just being – for a team that just picked number one in the draft, their schedule's not real fun. I mean, and I get it. I don't love the way the schedule's done. I'm not going to go off on that little tangent today. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, this was the worst team in the NFL last year. You start at the Broncos, which that's not going to be a whole mess of fun. Then you have the Rams come to you. In the first 9 weeks, you play those two, the Texans, the Cardinals, the Raiders, all on the road, by the way, and the Chargers. Really, the only reprieves you get are the Colts, the Colts twice, and the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, at the end of the schedule, you got the Chiefs, you got the 49ers, who I don't love, but I still think they're better than you, the Texans, the Seahawks. It's just, it's not good. I've got Tennessee, going 4-13 with wins in week 3 against the Colts, in Tennessee, Week 13 against the Jaguars, Week 17 against the Saints. And then the weird one is, and there's one of these for about every team has one of those that you look at and go, that one doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's the way the schedule works. We do this every year. A team will win a game that you go, how did they beat the Patriots in Week 7? It's in Tennessee. You've got the Vrabel returning home. I like New England better in the second half of the year than I do in the first half. Mm-hmm. And that's a weird little stretch of games for New England. But, I mean, if you wanted to take New England out and give them a win against them.
Is that going to shock anybody?
What if Tennessee beats New England?
Because to me, the surprise game to me would be if they were able to, beat the Chargers. That would be a surprise to me. Beating the Patriots wouldn't be that much of a surprise to me because that's the team that, as you said, I don't know what that's going to look like immediately. I don't know how fast Drake May is going to get off to a start here with the new system and the new coach and all of that. He's got a lot of pieces to work on. I don't know. I just don't look at New England and think that they're that much better than the bottom of the league.
Oh, I want you to remember you said that when we talk about the AFC East tomorrow.
Okay.
I thought the same thing until I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for Tennessee. You've got a rookie quarterback coming into it's just not a great start.
Bad. It's a bad start.
You have to go into Denver. So first week of the year, you got a 4:00 kick in Denver. Everybody always talks about West Coast team traveling east. It's not easy for an East Coast team traveling west either. So you got a kid in his first game is going to be in Mile High. By the way, Denver's fan base is rabid at how good they're going to be this year. So you catch them before they have an opportunity to realize they're not as good as they think they are. And you have to go against that defense in your first actual honest-to-God NFL game? Gross. That's gross. Then you got Matthew Stafford coming into your spot. And then the 3 on the road early that's one of the uglier things I've seen. As I deep dove the schedule, the fact you have to go at the Texans, at the Cardinals, at the Raiders, that's 2 West Coast trips.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like they're probably just going to stay on the West Coast.
That's one of those stay out. Yeah, you stay out there for that.
And I get it. I don't think you're better than any of those teams. So you get this young kid that starts that way, and the schedule never really leans out. You don't ever play bad teams 3 weeks in a row. You get the Jaguars and the Browns, but even look at that Browns game. You got to go to Cleveland in late November, early December? I don't have the dates on these games.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be great.
What game was that you said?
Cleveland in Week 14.
Yeah, December 7th.
Yeah. You ever been to Cleveland in December? It's cold as blue blazes in Cleveland. And you've got Cam Ward that's historically been in places that are warm. He's from Texas. Just left Miami. Yeah, he had 1 year at Washington State. They played a ton of games on the road. And he played at Incarnate Word. This is not a kid that's super versed in having played in the cold. By the way, that's going to be the first cold weather game he's ever played. Nashville might be a little chilly for that 3-game stretch. The pivot point of their schedule is after the bye week. Tennessee's one of those teams, I don't really care what your win-loss record is. Gary Birch said this earlier, that people are still emphasizing that win-loss record is a quarterback stat. I fought that tooth and nail for years. The more time goes on, the less and less I'm thinking it should be exclusively a quarterback stat. Your win-loss record still has to matter.
Yeah.
But it's not just you.
No, it absolutely matters. It's not an end-all, be-all. Because you do have to take into account the situation that the guys go into.
For sure. There are mediocre quarterbacks with good win-loss records. There are good quarterbacks with mediocre win-loss records.
Like, look, I don't really have great things to say about Cam Ward, but that's all just about my ignorance. Like, I've never really watched Cam Ward play all that much. I mean, yeah, I saw him at Miami, and he's made some good plays, and he's got some skills, and there's no doubt about it. The problem is I don't know what this is going to be in the NFL, and I think he's in one of the worst situations that you could be in. It's not a good offensive line that he's playing behind. He doesn't have weapons that I trust at all. And I don't see them set up for success here. The best thing about the Tennessee Titans is their secondary. And to me, that's just a really weird thing to hang your hat on. Okay, so you're the New York Jets. Awesome. Sweet. That's not going to lead to many games. I mean, the New York defense, we've seen what that can be. But if you can't score points, then that's going to be a major, major problem. And that's where I see Tennessee at. And I don't know how you square that, how you fix that, what the timeline is on the coaching situation and all of that. Like, I don't think it's going to be a good year. I really don't. And
what would be a good year in Tennessee?
5 wins.
All right, so
5 wins would be a good one, and you end the season on a high note, winning 3 out of the last 5.
All right, so I'm gonna put the schedule back up on the screen. I want you to tell me how you get there, because I'm struggling with it. All right, so I think it's universal. You're going to lose week 1. This team's going to be 0-2. I don't see any way around it.
Sure.
Let's say you get a win at the Colts. I don't see a kid in his 4th, 5th, 6th start going on the road beating 3 teams that I think are either going to be in the playoffs or going to be very close.
Nope.
You catch New England in a bad spot. All right, so that's 2.
Mm-hmm.
The only other really winnable games I see on this schedule, you could go into Indy and beat them. You force Richardson or Jones to turn the ball over. Maybe you get the Seahawks in your place. That is West Coast team coming east. I believe that's a 1 o'clock kick. You could get the Browns in Cleveland. You could get the Jaguars the last week of the year.
Yep.
If everything went perfectly your way, you go 7-10.
Yep.
Now, I don't necessarily think the record – I don't think the record is how you're going to define success for Tennessee.
No, your success hinges on the development of your quarterback.
For Tennessee,
the health of your quarterback.
Well, and I don't – health is obviously important, but for me that's kind of a given. Right. I think it goes a little deeper than that. If I'm Tennessee, and I'm specifically looking at the back end of that schedule where you play some secondaries that are not awesome, if you come out of this year and you've got the 5 guys on your line that you feel like for the long haul are going to be your guys, and I think there's a possibility that Jackson Slater slides in there in some spot. If you walk out of the season and go, we got the 5 guys we want on our line, we have figured out who the 2 to Calvin Ridley's going to be, whether it's Chimere Dike, whether it's Alec Ayumanner, Van Jefferson, Traylon Burke. I'm going to say those names solely because I have to, not because I want to.
Yeah.
I've got 2 legit targets he can throw to. We've kind of figured out the backfield. The offense is getting there. I don't care what your record is. If you can say that coming out of this season, I consider it a win. You go 4-13 the way I have them going. And if I can lock in Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley and Ayumanner as the X, and I feel good about Chimere Dike as the slot guy, and my line set up, that was a good year. That was a good year, and I think you got to bring Brian Callahan back.
Yep.
Worst case scenario, you're worse offensively than you were last year. And then now you're looking for a new coach a year from now. Cam Ward's going into a second system in 2 years, and that is notorious for killing quarterback prospects.
That was going to be my question to you, is there a way that this team still goes, 4 wins? And they say, time to move on. No more Callahan. Are they done with it with 1 year of Cam Ward?
It is possible. I think Cam Ward would have to regress. Look, what you want to see is what Brian Callahan did with Joe Burrow. You want to see Joe get better. And look, 'cause we talk about Joe Burrow like he was this finished product. He really wasn't. He was a great prospect, but he held the ball an insanely long time. And he got hurt in year one because he held the ball too long behind a bad offensive line. If Callahan and his staff can show that they're putting together a scheme offensively, I think he can save his job. Because, look, defensively, I think you got a lot of pieces. I like this defense way better than most people do. That front three is evil with Sebastian Joseph Day, Devondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you have anybody that's going to consistently get after the quarterback. I do like your secondary a lot. But I almost feel like the defense is not going to save you. All right, if you're losing games 13-9, Brian Callahan's an offensive guy. He's got to be showing this is why I'm the right guy. I don't care about the win-loss record. This is a dirty little secret of the NFL. When teams take quarterbacks in the first round, they're looking at their coach saying, we want to give you 3 years.
Yep.
Because I don't want to put this guy in another scenario. The only time you see guys get fired is when you watch them in that system and go, this ain't it. I don't know what it is, but it ain't this.
So your official prediction for the Tennessee Titans this year is what?
4-13. They beat the Colts in week 3. They beat the Patriots in week 7. The Jaguars in week 13. The Saints in week 17. They win 4 games at home. They win none on the road.
Now you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Take a break. When we come back, we'll hop into the next team on the list of the AFC South, the Indianapolis Colts.
Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet.
All right, very clear.
Dining out or shopping at the grocery store, ask for sustainable seafood. By choosing sustainable seafood, you can help reduce overfishing, bycatch, loss of top predators, illegal fishing, and other harmful environmental impacts. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
I lived on a commercial salmon fishing boat in Alaska, and I genuinely think that was the first time I've ever felt myself kind of like slipping mentally. I think Alaska does weird things to people.
If you're interested in hearing anonymous callers like this tell stories from their lives, check out my podcast, Therapy Gecko. You can listen to Therapy Gecko on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Therapy Gecko and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Don't miss the Cold Mountain Music Festival at beautiful Lake Logan in Canton, North Carolina, Friday and Saturday, May 30th and 31st. This year's lineup has Fireside Collective, Melissa Carper, the Shed House Trio featuring Darren Nicholson, Denisha, Fancy and the Gentleman, The Last Rebel, and American Aquarium. Proceeds support the programs of Lake Logan, Camp Henry, and the Outdoor School. And for every ticket purchased, Lake Logan will donate $1 to support this year's participating jam musicians. General admission and camping tickets on sale now at coldmountainmusic.org.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has 2 things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Continuing to count down the days to the start of the NFL season because, well, by golly, we just missed it that much. It is official prediction day. Actually, official prediction week here in the Sportsocracy. We got the holiday weekend coming up this weekend, so we've got another long weekend coming up. It's going to be very nice once again. So over the next 4 days, including today, we will give you each and every division and the official prediction from one Flostradamus. He says 4-13 for the Tennessee Titans, who are going to be the last team in the AFC South. Who's the runner-up for the bottom in the AFC South? The Indianapolis Colts.
Nope.
No?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, they're going to be worse than Indianapolis.
Look at the schedule.
Okay.
This is why we do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to flash it up on the screen now. They start at home against the Panthers. Mm-hmm. I don't really think they're better than that team. I'm going to be honest with you. I have Jacksonville winning 5 games. They win 3 that don't make a whole lot of sense, but they're at home. They start with the Panthers. I don't like that. Having that defense with all of the moving pieces going against Bryce Young and an offense that I think is going to be pretty good, I don't like how that sets up for them. Then they go to the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're going to get your feelings hurt. I haven't beaten the Texans in week 3 in Jacksonville. That's another one of those trap games like what I just said about New England in the last segment.
Okay.
They have to go to the 49ers and the Chiefs. I want you to put your rosiest Jacksonville Jaguar colored glasses on. When they go into the bye week, what's their record going to be? Like that first 7 games, what would you say that record's going to look like? Best case scenario.
Best case scenario would be
2-5.
2-5.
2-5.
Yeah, I got Carolina, maybe San Francisco on the road.
You're going to go to San Francisco with that defense still figuring itself out. Jacksonville is one of those teams that needed a really light open to the schedule. Yeah, here's what they got. The reigning NFC divisional loser? I was trying to think of the team that finished 3rd in the NFC. The team that lost in the Super Bowl. San Francisco on the road. Playoff Houston. Borderline playoff Seattle. At borderline playoff Cincinnati. A good, young, hungry Carolina team that gets 2 full weeks to prepare for you. And it's Dave Canales against Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen in his first game as a head coach. Mm-hmm. They could, and I'm not just saying could, I would say there's at least a 30% chance they're 0-7 going into the bye week.
It's quite possible.
I had to manufacture a win against Houston, which I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say I don't really believe. It's just it has trap game written all over it because they go to the Rams, then they play the Bucks, then they get the Jaguars. And it's on a short week because they play on Monday Night Football, and that's a team that hasn't done that very often. That's the only reason I haven't beaten Tennessee or Houston. Excuse me. I'm going to get that right eventually. Tennessee started in Houston, and I cannot stop calling them each other.
Right.
Then you got to go to San Francisco, Kansas. You're just not winning these games. Then the
Seattle
schedule
coming to you at a 1:00 start on the East Coast. That that could be.
You got a shot.
Gotcha games.
You got a shot.
Yeah.
Not because I think you're better than Seattle, but because it's a bad scenario for them.
Yeah.
I look way more into the scenario of the teams that are playing than I do just, well, Jacksonville's not as good as Houston. Okay, then the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to go 17-0, other than when they play each other.
It's not the way. Yeah, that's
That
not
is
the way.
not how this goes. So, yes, you're going to see
even-
weird games on every schedule where you go, Jacksonville couldn't possibly beat Houston. No, they could. They could, because it's a weird scenario. Then you get after the bye. After the bye, and you'll find that very often I say after the bye is the pivot point. That's the point where your season's going to be determined. Because after the bye week, they play at the Raiders. I detest when teams have to go on the road after the bye week. I want to stay home. I want that to be a nice break in the middle of the year. You know what Jacksonville gets? 4 road games in 5 games. They have to go to the Raiders, to the Texans, home to the Chargers, who are going to mush your face, at the Cardinals, at the Tennessee Titans.
Well, I mean that last game before the bye is an international game.
Yeah, that's in London.
You're going overseas, then a bye week, then 4 out of 5 on the road.
That's terrible.
That's
terrible. Awful. Like Roger Goodell is punishing old Duval for being weird. And then the end of the schedule does lighten up. You play the Colts, you play the Jets. Both of those are at home. I have you winning both of those. Then you go on the road to Denver in a game that's going to be cold as blue blazes. You go to the Colts, and then you end up with the Titans. I got you beating the Titans in the last week of the season. It's a toss-up. It's basically who will pick higher, and Jacksonville notoriously wins those games. I don't like this
Jacksonville at 5-12.
I do, and on the low side, they could be worse than that. If I just give you the games that make logical sense for you to win, you go 3-14. But I feel like this comes off as I hate Jacksonville and I hate Liam Cohen. I don't. I think Liam can be a good coach. The schedule did you no favors. And now I want to prove a point here.
I mean, till the last 6.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I want to prove a point here. Take weeks 2 through 7 and put them in weeks 13 through 18 and flip it. Let's say Jacksonville started Carolina, at Tennessee, Indianapolis, New York, at Denver, at Indianapolis, Tennessee before the bye week. What does that team look like? Because I go ahead and tell you it's better than 3-14.
100%. That team has, I don't know, 7-10.
I would agree with that. It's the exact same slate of games. But you got to understand, you're going into a game in London against the LA Rams, a team that is high-flying. They have 2 receivers that are really difficult to defend, and they're going to mush your face. There's just no way around it. Now, that game might be closer because London games tend to be closer. If you go into a bye week coming back from London and you're 0-7, what is the temperature on that plane? The season's over. We're in the same boat we were in with Dougie Doug that we're in with Duval. And then you wind up with the good part of the schedule. You don't have any reason to play, and you're on the road for a month.
But see, isn't that just pure Jacksonville Jaguar football? Is that we will open up 0-7, and for some reason we will end up 0-11, and then end up winning 5 of the last 6 games, and then screw ourselves out of a top draft pick, and move on.
I think Jacksonville, probably more so than any other team in the league, got absolutely car ramrodded by the schedule. And there's so much hope and there's so much hype. Have you looked at the win-loss projection for Jacksonville?
In Vegas?
So we didn't do this with Tennessee, so I'll do it on the backside here. With Tennessee was at 5.5. I have them below that. I probably wouldn't wager it either way. Jacksonville's at 7.5, and that feels like the easiest under in the whole wide world. Look at that schedule. Can you get me to 7 wins?
Yeah, you win.
Do it.
The Tennessee, Indianapolis, New York, Indianapolis, Tennessee to end the season. It's the only way you get there. And then you snag Carolina at the beginning of the year and one of those other games somehow. On the road at Vegas or something like that.
I gifted you 3 games that don't make sense, and I can barely get to 7. To go over 7.5, you got to get to 8.
Mm-hmm.
Not happening.
Exactly. You can't. No, you can't.
Because I'll go ahead and tell you, on the road, you're losing to the Texans on the road. You're losing to the Cardinals, on the road. The Broncos, the Raiders, the 49ers, the Bengals. You're not beating the Chiefs. I don't see any way you're beating the Rams. I'm already to 8 losses. All you got to do is lose one more game, and I'm on the right side of this.
Yep.
I'm going vehemently under 7.5 on Jacksonville, and it's one of my favorite wagers of the year.
All right, and what is to close out the segment here? To give us Tennessee's. What was Tennessee's over under?
5.5. I'm not touching it.
5.5.
Because Tennessee's in that range of, I could see you winning 6 because Cam Ward's really, really good, and he wins a game that he shouldn't against a quarterback that's equivalent talent or maybe a little bit better than him. Jacksonville, I don't think Liam Cohen's kids would bet Jacksonville over 7.5 because it doesn't make any sense. You could start 0-7, and you would have to go damn near perfect to pay that off.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole lot of faith in a team that, has never been any good since Trevor Lawrence has been there, and now you're on your, third, fourth coach? If you count the interims and
yes.
stuff?
Oh, he'd be on his 5th coach if you're going interims.
Right. It's quite the revolving door for a young quarterback. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. More AFC South record predictions coming up.
ESPN Asheville. Your mouth.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Tracking some thunderstorms out of Tennessee in from the west. Some splash-dash showers and thunderstorms here for today and tomorrow. Upper 70s this afternoon, low 80s tomorrow. Nighttime low temps tonight around 60 degrees with some isolated early evening storms. We are expecting a drop to the humidity later on this week towards Thursday and Friday with high temps only in the 60s and 70s to finish out the business week and lows in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Britt and Tilson.
What's up, Western North Carolina? It's Billy Britt
and Matt Burns with Britt and Tilson Glass, home of the shower door company.
Give us a call or text for all your glass and shower door needs at 828-469-0600 or visit us at brittandtilson.com.
Your HMI Pro Glazer.
Do you disregard people's personal space? Sitting next to people in public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's 72-hour sale is happening now. Save up to 72% off on top brands with queens starting at $149.99. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
Missing football? Nonsense. The season never ends in the Sportsocracy.
This is like the spark we need.
There is no off-season with these guys.
And the draft is everything.
Weekdays at noon on ESPN Asheville.
We just love football.
Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step, with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, coming to you live from the Ingalls studio and the NFLDraft.net. Mullet Manor, more summer scouting going on in your place there, Jeremy?
This is the daily affirmation of I hate you.
I'm glad you were able to squeeze in some pool time this weekend, though, with your honey. So that's at least it's not dominating all of your time.
It's not. No, it's in all honesty, it's better that I'm starting early. Usually I just go, I can't stare at this screen anymore for a month plus. We're taking a little bit more time during the off season, more long weekends, trying to prepare. I'll say we're 80% done with the Living the Dream schedule, and it is intense.
Yes, aggressive, if you will.
There are a lot more double headers, triple headers. There's going to be a lot of me doing this show in hotel rooms on the road because Tank can't go to all of these with me. It's the fall is going to be really aggressive. It's a good time to say, look, our goal, I want to see as many of my top 100 players on a field in a game as humanly possible. It helped so much last year. Mm-hmm. I fell in love with the South Carolina defensive guys in Columbia. And that was when I went to all the sponsors and went, we got something here. There's something to this. And thankfully we have great sponsors, and they agreed.
Moving on with the official preseason post-schedule release predictions here from Flostradamus. In the AFC South, now it's the Indianapolis Colts, right? They're the second best or third worst team, in the conference.
I have the Indianapolis Colts at 7-10.
7-10. Okay.
They play the Dolphins week 1. Mm-hmm. I don't like that Dolphin defense at all, and I think they're really going to struggle with Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. Then you go Broncos at the Titans at the Rams. That's 3 losses for me. Catch the Raiders in your place. I'll give you a win there. Lose to the Cardinals in your place. Go to the Chargers and get just bludgeoned. And then it becomes, can you salvage your season? Because you got Titans at the Steelers, Falcons going into your bye week. You have to win 2 of those 3 or the season's over. Because if you go into the bye week at 3-7, you're doomed. Because the back half of their schedule is not all that pretty. I got them beating the Texans, 49ers, and the Jaguars. Other than that, it's all losses.
Yep.
Something else people will notice, I put a lot of weight on who plays at home. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it is a big deal.
the Colts are they're a lot of pieces away.
Are they,
and
though?
Quarterback's a huge piece of that.
So I'm glad you said that way. Are they a lot of pieces away, or are they a quarterback away?
You think with a quarterback, this team is set to be a playoff team?
All right, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
We railed on the Brock Purdy deal for 30 minutes to start this show.
Yes, we did.
If Brock Purdy, with that deal, under the cap, was the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, do they make the playoffs, yes or no? Because I'd say yes. I know who my 7 is in the AFC, and I'll go ahead and tell you, 2-53, the Colts have a better roster.
Okay.
You know what the Colts don't have? A good young quarterback, which that team does. That Colts defense could be really good. I know you don't like hearing that because you don't buy these guys as much as I do. What was the big knock on Indianapolis last year?
What was it?
They played a ton of zone, and they didn't have the corners to do it. And you could light them up like a Christmas tree on the back end of that defense. They went out and got Cam Bynum. They went out and got Shavarius Ward. So now Kenny Moore can go back into the slot. You got Jalen Jones and Juju Brents on the other side. Brents, if he can stay healthy, I would say it probably more Jalen Jones. Then you really look at the front 7. The front 7's really good. Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner. You've got, I think, 4 or 5 guys that can play on the outside with Kwity Paye, Leatu Latu, JT Tuimoloau, Samson Ebukam, who's coming back off an injury last year. That's a lot of pieces. That's a lot of stuff you can do in the front 7.
Mm-hmm.
I like your linebacking core. I don't love it. I like it.
What was I say? You got Zaire Franklin and what?
Well, you got 2 young guys that they really believe in. I'm also one of those that when I hear 7th round guy that you won't stop talking about, I tend to take that to heart.
Okay.
If there's one position that I really, really trust Lou Anarumo at, it's linebacker. Because I've watched him make guys of 5th, 6th, 7th undrafted free agent guys. You've got 2 of those here that are surrounding Zaire Franklin. And when in doubt, defer to the guy that's really good at this. And then I don't dislike the offense. I really don't. And I'm telling you right now,
quarterback.
If you told me Daniel Jones played 17 games, I think they're a borderline playoff team.
Really?
Because Anthony Richardson's going to lose you games that you shouldn't lose.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, he's going to lose you games you shouldn't lose. You should not lose at the Tennessee Titans. Anthony Richardson's going to get the first crack at this. If that Titan game was after the bye week, I would have said it was a win. Unfortunately for you, you have to go to the Chiefs, to the Jaguars. You got to play the 49ers in your house, which I actually have as a win. You got to go to the Texans and play the Texans in your house. That's all after the bye. That's probably when you've ceded this to Daniel Jones and just gone, Anthony Richardson is terrible at football. Why did it take us 3 years to figure that out?
Right. And Daniel Jones is, he's just okay. He's not, he is an improvement over Anthony Richardson, but I still don't feel like that's how going to win you a whole lot of games.
How good I think this team is. If you just have a quarterback that would stop beating you, you would be in fine shape. I think you'd be 8-9, 9-8, battling for the playoffs because 9-8 makes the playoffs in the AFC.
Right.
I have 2 9-8 teams that make the playoffs in the AFC and a third one that loses on tiebreaker.
All right, so your official prediction for Indianapolis is
7-10.
7-10.
And look
Vegas number.
The biggest number on the high side?
No, the Vegas number.
The Vegas number. 7.5. I'm not touching it. If they go to Daniel Jones early, you go over. If they stick with Anthony Richardson too long, you go under. I'm going to flash the schedule back on the screen. I'm on the high side for Indianapolis. I've got them beating the Dolphins. Let's say they beat the Titans. You carry that game with the Raiders. You beat the Titans again. So then you're sitting on 4. You beat the Falcons, that's 5. I don't see any way you beat the Chiefs coming out of the bye. I've got you beating the Texans at home, and I think it was Brandon Holland said that they call the Colts Dome the Stroud House for a reason because he's been really good there. So I'm giving you one there you probably don't deserve. So switch that out with Jacksonville. You beat the 49ers and Jaguars, I'm still at 8-9.
Yep.
I mean, to me, Indianapolis just has 6, 7, 8 wins written all over it, and it depends on which quarterback plays how many games.
And that brings us around to the predicted champion of the AFC South. If you don't have them predicted to be champions of this division, you're going to have to show a lot of work. Houston Texans. What's the high side?
I don't even think I have them on the high side. I think they could be better than what I'm going to show here.
Okay.
And I've got them at 11-6. I will say they will split the first two games. I've got them beating the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. This was the explanation of how they lost to the Jaguars. I could easily see that Titans-Buccaneers game being an absolute track meet. I wish I could bet the over on a game before 4 months before it happened because I would bet the over on that one. You catch the Jaguars in I'll say it's a trap spot. Then you get the Titans. They start 2-3. Their bye week super early, but look at what they play after the bye. 6 weeks in a row after the bye, they have to go to the Seahawks, but you get a week of the bye week to prepare for that. So you could go out to the West Coast early if you wanted to. 49ers at home, Broncos at home, Jaguars at home. Go to the Titans, who are not great, and you play the Bills at home. I got them winning all 5 of those games. Wow. Lose going to the Colts, lose going to the Chiefs, beat the Cardinals, Raiders, Colts at home. You lose one on the road to the Chargers. You're 11-6. And to be honest with you, you lock the division up so early that I think the back end of the schedule could get a little, I'll say a little bootsy because I don't know how many of these games are actually going to matter. I've got them locking the division up in the beginning of December.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter all that much. Houston's clearly the class of this division.
Yes.
Clearly.
The question I have is, does CJ and the offense make the rebound this year? Because they weren't all that great last year. There were a lot of close games, if I remember correctly, and it just you never could trust them to close it out.
Well, you say, can the offense make the rebound? Yeah. What constitutes making the rebound?
I don't know. Winning games. That's
well, they didn't put up a ton of yards last year. They also had a ton of injuries. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see them lean more on Joe Mixon, maybe even a little smattering of Dameon Pierce this year. I think the defense is better because you're older. You got a defense here that in large part just look up and down how many of these guys weren't here last year?
Right.
You added C.J. Gardner-Johnson, which I think helps. So now they will be an interesting case defensively because now they're the first team I've ever seen run 2 of those guys at the same time. Because they've got C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Jalen Petrie. And I just think it makes your offense really, really, really multiple. Mm-hmm. The thing that obviously scares me, it scares everybody, is the offensive line. Do me a favor. Look at that schedule. How many of those teams do you actually think have formidable pass rushes? The Rams have a guy in Jared Verse. Fiske can get after a quarterback. They don't really have that second piece.
Right.
The Buccaneers don't have that guy. The Jaguars have Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, but do I in any way think that they're going to use them appropriately? Not really. The Titans don't have that guy. The Ravens do.
It's closest.
The Seahawks kind of do. The 49ers have
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos have Just look up and down the schedule. Everybody's worried about their pass rush. How many of these teams are great pass rushing teams? We think the Bills will be. We think the Chiefs will be. The Cardinals should be because of all the attention they paid to the defense. There's a lot. The Raiders should be. There's a lot of these teams They may be fine defensively, but they're not dynamic rushing the quarterback. That's what got CJ. Last year, he was under pressure constantly. With Cam Robinson, yes, that's a downgrade from Laramie Tunsil. I don't feel great about some of the pieces that you have there, but look at the second team. Look at what you did through the draft, through undrafted free agency, through veteran signings. Now you've got Ariante Ursery, Laken Tomlinson, Eli Cox, Ed Ingram, Trent Brown. You know what all 5 of those guys have in common?
What's that?
I have starter-level grades on all 5 of them. So if Blake Fisher's an absolute train wreck, guess what? It's going to be Trent Brown. Or it's going to be Ariante Ursery. If Juice Scruggs is a nightmare at guard, it's going to be Ed Ingram. Or it's going to be Laken Tomlinson. If Jared Patterson continues to be slow and plodding as he is, it's going to be Eli Cox. They're going to sort that offensive line out in the offseason. I'm not saying it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be a step back. And you look at the weapons, they're so much deeper now with adding Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. Mm-hmm. 2 guys that know each other. They come into this system and they should be immediate contributors.
But you also don't have Tank Dell. And if he doesn't,
you didn't have Tank Dell for half of last year.
Then you have Christian Kirk, and that's a lot of youth to try to rely on.
If you're having to go to Higgins and Noel,
yeah,
I would agree with you on that. You had Tank Dell last year, and you had some of these problems. Mm-hmm. I think we make it out like Tank Dell was this absolute dog. No, Tank Dell was good. Let's play a game. He played 14 games last year. How many catches did he have?
Oh, Lord. 70.
51 for 667 yards and 3 touchdowns. Okay. This is what everybody's losing their mind. Oh, my God, they don't have Tank Dell. Tank Dell's fine. All right, he's a good player, and he's a lot of fun to watch. At the end of the day, he's a 165-pound slot receiver that's been hurt twice. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, I hate to break this to you. Christian Kirk's an improvement over Tank Dell. He's not as dynamic, but in terms of the player you're going to get week in and week out, he's every bit as good, if not better. So it doesn't bother me that much. I don't care that Tank Dell's not there because I think Jalen Noel is pretty much a Tank Dell clone. I think he's going to be a guy that beats you over the top. He can go across the middle. He's kind of fearless, and I like Jaden Higgins. You got Nico Collins. You got Joe Mixon. I think there's a lot to be excited with Houston, and I feel like people are undervaluing the Texans. What do you think their win-loss projection in Vegas is?
Oh, I would say 10.5.
It's 9.5.
Ooh. Okay.
You find a way that they lose 8 games? Because I can't. Let's say they lose the first 2. All right, you lose the first 2. Then you play Jacksonville. Your season's on the line. There's no trap game there. You're in the same boat you were in before. Right. I've already got you losing to the Ravens. So basically, worst case scenario is what I have. You go in 2-3. Mm-hmm. All right, let's say off the bye you lose at Seattle. I don't think you're losing to San Francisco in your house. You do the exact same things, and you're way better than they are. Mm-hmm. I don't think Bo Nix is coming in and beating you. But even if we said he did, I'm still just at 5. Say you lose to the Bills, you lose to the Chiefs, you lose to the Cardinals and the Chargers. That's how I get to 9, and I'm doing all of this going, I don't believe any of what I'm saying right now.
Right.
I love Houston over 9.5. That's another wager that I'm pretty heavy on.
All right, so the official prediction for the Houston Texans.
11-6.
11-6.
11-6, and a couple of those games I may have overthought myself. I think 11-6 may be their floor. At worst, it's 10-7. And anytime I see that and go, both those numbers are over the win total in Vegas. Over!
11-6 would mean that they would sew up the division a month before the season's over, more than likely.
And Brandon Hollum said it in our
It's a
YouTube
bad
chat.
division.
11-6 is fair. You could move a couple of those games, but I think 11-6 is really, really safe. I'm trying not to go overboard on Houston because I don't want to put that crazy expectation. I think 11-6 they're not exactly. I think at 11-6 they're not going to disappoint me. Because then you can go 10-7, you're going to win the division, I think, in a walk. And then you're viewing it through a different prism. When you expect a team to go 13-4, you're putting them in a box that they really can only do two things. They can't overachieve. They can only kind of confirm what you thought or disappoint you. And there's a huge chance they're going to disappoint you.
And last year they disappointed.
Exactly. And so I think that's why people have this mindset with them that's not 100% accurate.
Yeah, we're not going all in. We went all in last year, and we're not getting bit again. We'll have expectations, and we'll see what happens.
I'm going all in, but I'm going all in because everybody else is living by what you're saying. So now all in's not going, I'm going over 11.5 wins. Nope, now I'm at 9.5. Now I'm right there just a couple ahead of some teams that I think you are way better than.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We'll take the break in at the top of the hour. It will be time to talk about the NFC South. The NFC South, Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I guess we'll have to start with the New Orleans Saints since we start with the worst team in the division. But you'll have to stick with us and find out who Flostradamus has got in the NFC South coming up next.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Tracking some thunderstorms out of Tennessee in from the west. Some splash-dash showers and thunderstorms here for today and tomorrow. Upper 70s this afternoon, low 80s tomorrow. Nighttime low temps tonight around 60 degrees with some isolated early evening storms. We are expecting a drop to the humidity later on this week towards Thursday and Friday with high temps only in the 60s and 70s to finish out the business week and lows in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on ESPN Asheville.
Explore a career as a correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career. Visit dac.nc.gov/CO jobs.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute is brought to you by Swain Community Hospital. Do you know the signs of a stroke? May is National Stroke Awareness Month, and Swain Community Hospital is here to keep you and your family healthy. Strokes are a leading cause of death worldwide, but most strokes can be prevented through healthy living habits. This month, ask your doctor about your stroke risk and make sure you're exercising daily. Know your blood pressure and cholesterol numbers. When a stroke does happen, it's essential to get emergency care right away. Remember the warning signs. If you see face drooping, or arm weakness, or speech slurring, it's time to call 911. With stroke care close to home, you can live your healthiest life. Are you at risk for a stroke? Take our stroke health risk assessment at myswaincommunity.com. You've been listening to a Medical Minute brought to you by Swain Community Hospital.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall.
You want to do Carolina and New Orleans here?
774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your
we can, yeah.
Moves in making dreams come true.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shop.
From the Ingles studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingles studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It is official prediction day on the Sportsocracy. Actually, official prediction week once again. AFC South. If you missed it, you'll have to go back and check the podcast. Now it's time to talk about the NFC South, Jeremy. The hometown team, Carolina Panthers, have been the last place team in this division.
They're not for me this year.
Will that continue?
Not for me.
Will that continue in 2025?
All right, so you're going to call me a conspiracy theorist? And that's fine. I keep my tinfoil hat at my desk. Okay. I don't think the Saints want to win in 2025. I think they got Kellen Moore here. They got Brandon Staley here by saying you can throw excrement against the wall and see what sticks for one calendar year. Because I think they saw the same thing that I saw before the schedule came out, and somehow when the schedule came out, it got worse. If you're going into a season with Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler as your quarterback options, and I like Shuck, he's still a rookie. You're going in with a schedule that is evil. And it didn't do you any favors. I don't think the defense is going to be very good early. I think it could get better over time. They have a lot of young guys that I believe are going to see a lot of playing time at some point in this year. This team is going to be a 3-4 team. They are not built to be one, but they're going to be. And when I saw what they did in the draft, it really only confirmed that to me because basically every one of the pieces they've added steer into that. Now, offensively, I don't know what to do with you. I think the line will be good. Maybe. I don't love your weapons. I don't love this situation for Tyler Shuck. but I do like the fit. That's my overview of your team. Now, let's go overview of your schedule, which is, I'm going to say a little bleak. You start week 1 against the Cardinals. I don't like your chances because they're coming in with their hair on fire, and they have a lot of momentum. Arizona's going to be told all offseason long, you should be a playoff team. The Saints are going to be told all offseason long, you'll be lucky to get to 4 wins. Momentum matters. So I have them losing to the Cardinals in week 1. Catching one against the 49ers. Then this is your schedule in order. At the Seahawks, at the Bills, the Giants, there's one. Then you get the New England Patriots, at the Bears, Buccaneers, at the Rams, at the Panthers. Who did you piss off, and what can you do to unwind it? Because good Lord have mercy, that is evil. You get a bye week. I have them beating the Falcons off the bye week because I think they're going to go really young sometime between about week 8 and week 10. And that's where you're going to start seeing the Vernon Broughtons and the Danny Stutzmans and the Jonas Sankers and the Quincy Rileys and the Neffy Sewells and all of these younger pieces to see where do you fit 1 year from now. I fully believe when Kellen Moore took this job, they looked at him and said, figure it out. We have to unwind a lot of things we've done over the years. They got lucky with the Derek Carr deal that basically just failed the physical, so, well, you're stuck. You've got a ton of young pieces on this team with no expectation whatsoever. That can be step 1 in a 3-step process that ultimately leads to you being competitive again. And I think it'll happen with New Orleans. I think this is a well-run organization to a point. I do not like your GM. I never have liked your GM. A lot of what he does makes my head hurt. But every once in a while he gets one right. I think he got Kelvin Banks right. I think he got Talise Fuaga right. That's 2 bookmark ends that you are going to trial by fire. You did it with Fuaga last year. He stepped up. I don't know that Kelvin Banks is going to. I think there could be some growing pains on the left side with him. I think ultimately he's going to be an absolute animal. The problem is, look at the quarterbacks you play. Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. The Giants, they're terrible. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, Bryce Young, Michael Penix Jr., Tua Tagovailoa, Baker again, Bryce again. Hey, Justin Fields. That's a fun one, but the season's already over by then. Cam Ward, Michael Penix. That's a lot of really good quarterbacks early. For New Orleans, I just think it starts bad and it just rolls downhill from there. And that's it. You got that may be the worst schedule you could possibly have built for the Saints. Mm-hmm. But I don't think you want to win.
If this team was any good, the last half of the schedule would be fine.
Absolutely.
Right, you get Atlanta, you get at Miami, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Tennessee. For a good team, those are all winnable games. I don't want to shoot too high. Cincinnati Bengals have that at the end of their schedule. What is your prediction? What are they going in those last 7 weeks?
Oh God, a lot of wins.
7-0.
A lot of wins.
More than likely. 7-0, I'll be shocked if they lose more than one of those. Maybe you lose a divisional game in there somewhere, something. I don't know.
I want to address something in the YouTube chat. Who Dat Fam said, for 3 years we've complained the Saints are too old. Now it's you're too young. Because you swing this door like a barn door. You went from the oldest team in the NFL to, I honest to God could see 11, 24 or younger guys playing high-level snaps for this team. Here's what that leads to. You're going to have one ugly year. I don't see any way you don't. Mm-hmm. All right, we talked about high side. What is the highest high side? If everything here worked perfectly, How well can that go?
Let's see. You get
that first 4. Are you anything better than 2-2 under the rosiest of scenarios?
No, the rosiest of scenarios, you're 0-4. I mean, it's not you're not winning any of those games.
Agree.
Maybe San Francisco, because they're coming. Well, you got 2 West Coast teams coming East Coast to start the season, so maybe you snag one of those for that sole reason. Other than that, you're not going to Seattle. You're not going to Buffalo and getting wins. It's just not going to happen. You get the New York Giants. I'll give you the New England Patriots. Maybe things aren't jiving by then. Chicago Bears, not against that defense. Tampa Bay, don't like your chances. It is in New Orleans, though, and we do struggle with New Orleans. So maybe one of those. But I'm not giving you anything more than a split within the division with any of these teams.
Exactly. And that's the thing is that,
and that's the problem is most of your schedule, most of the ease of your schedule comes from the fact that you're in the division.
Andreas Pinckney said 6-11 is the highest high side. I agree with you. I agree with you. I think this team's going to win 4, 5, or 6 games, and if you do it the right way, it's 4. Frankly, if you do it the right way, it's 2. It's
Right.
2, and Tyler Shuck is that dude, and you go into next year and go, hey, boys, we have the number 1 pick. Like 7 of you need quarterbacks, and it's going to cost everything to come up here and get that guy.
Yep.
But that's a lot of this does hinge on Tyler Shuck. If he's the right guy, the keys to the franchise are that number 1 draft pick next year. Because look at the Chicago Bears. Look how bad that roster was 3 years ago. Look how good it is right now. Where'd that come from? They tapped out on Bryce Young. And then every move they made from there has been off of that. And that's how you get there.
Yep. New Orleans Saints don't want to win. Problem is they'll probably win. At least a few more games. That'll knock them out of that top draft spot. This is one of those scenarios where lose. If I'm a Saints fan, lose. Just lose.
Just lose, baby.
Feels the same way as I did about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2014. Just lose. Just get the number 1 pick, and hopefully you'll make a good choice. Hopefully for you guys, your choice works out better than our choice did. But you need to lose. And 5 is too many to me. You got them going how much? 4-3?
4-13.
I forgot a number there. 4-13 for the New Orleans Saints.
And that means
the Carolina Panthers.
I'm curious what you have them going before I throw this up there.
I think this team is at best an 8-9 team. I don't think there's a huge jump coming here.
I think there's a huge jump
to get you as a threat.
I think there's a
8-9,
huge
you're in it.
There's a huge jump to me in the talent of the team. I don't know that there's going to be a huge jump in the wins. And here's why. The schedule is not awesome because you start 2 games on the road, Jaguars, Cardinals. Let's say you split that. That's exactly what I had you doing. You come home for the Falcons. I've got you winning that one.
Okay.
You go at the Patriots. Okay. That's going to be a loss. I don't like you playing. Foxborough is going to be loud, especially early in the season. I got you beating the Dolphins and the Cowboys at home the next 2 weeks. I got the Panthers starting 4-2. Do you know what you get then? You have to go to the Jets. The Jets are an interesting team because the schedule starts really light, so it could be loud. It's going to be cold. Then you go Bills, at the Packers, Saints, which I have you winning, at the Falcons, at the 49ers, and the Rams. If you could tell me which one of those games outside the Saints and the Jets they're supposed to win, all right, I give you the Jets. You're still 8-9. And at the end of the year, you got to go to the Saints, Bucks, Seahawks, at the Bucks. I don't like the way they line up against the Bucs.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you on that. I do not like the biggest knock I have on Carolina's team right now is the secondary, and the Buccaneers have about 843 wide receivers.
Precisely.
I don't like how that lines up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think I'm probably on the lowest of the low side, and this went vaguely how I thought it was going to. You were going to say a number when I asked you what you thought they could be that was right about where I was. Because I do think Carolina probably wins one or two of these games that I have them losing. The Jets are the one that I had circled. Jet fans are craving something, anything to cling on to, and Justin Fields could start this year really, really well. I'm going to talk about the East tomorrow, so I can't elaborate on that too much. But that's why I had you losing that. If you win that, this team's 5-2. Going into a brutal stretch of the schedule, but you got a lot of momentum on your side. Carolina, for me, is 7-10 on the lowest of low sides. Their Vegas projection for wins is what?
5.5.
It's 6.5. Absolutely raking you through the coals. I was 7-10. I love the over on Carolina. They're another of my favorite overs. Not because I think they're going to obliterate the number, because I think it's so safe they get to 7.
And the number's 6.5?
6.5. I think it is so unbelievably safe that they get to 7. Now, I don't think their high side's above 9.
I want to agree. I want to agree, but that's too much. That's too close for me. Because I could see I could see like last week of the season, you need that one to be 7-10. And maybe at that point you get it, right? You're on the road against Tampa. Tampa may have already had the division sewed up. They may be rest and play. I don't know.
And I'm not going to lie. I've thought about that as well. Tampa could have.
That's close.
It's close. It is close. But I think 7's so safe because I think they're so much better than Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're better than Miami and Dallas, who they both get at home. Oh, by the way, Dallas Cowboy fans, wait till you see your record. I'll give you a hint. It's the worst one of any team that's been put on this screen so far. Tank and I got into a, we'll say, spirited discussion about the Cowboys. And tomorrow I get to show you just exactly why. Because I was looking at that Cowboy schedule going, oh, my God. Jerry Jones has done something horrible to Roger Goodell, and he just got back at you. But it's that stretch. It's that last 6 weeks before the bye. That's really the pivotal time for Carolina. I don't love that their bye week's in week 14. To me, this is a team that needed to be in that 7, 8, 9 range. See what works. Have that week to kind of reset the decks. You got to go 13 solid games. And 7 of them are on the road.
Right. And the problem is with those, I'm going to call it 4 out of the last 6 of I'm not real sure how you're going to come out of that with more than 2 wins. That's
the problem is that you catch Green Bay in November. You catch a Buffalo team that just flat out they're better than you. Mm-hmm. They're better than you. It's a trap game. It's not even a trap game. It's a poorly set game because it's between 2 uncomfortable travels because you have to go to New York. You have to go to Green Bay. You come home for Buffalo, who's just flat out better than you are. Then you catch New Orleans after Green Bay. That's back home. And you got at Atlanta, which is the easiest travel in the NFL. Mm-hmm. But then you got to go out west to San Francisco for a Monday night game. You catch the Rams on a short week.
Yep.
It's brutal.
And not only do you go into the bye week bruised and battered because you've been through 13 weeks of an NFL season and nobody's surviving without being bruised and battered over 13 weeks. But you're also dejected going into the bye. Now maybe you can rally the troops and finish strong. You got 3 out of the last 4 games in the division. You can get up for all of those games because Seattle's like a rivalry game for you now as well.
If they can be 6-7 or 7-6 going into the bye week, which is more doable than I'm making it sound.
Mm-hmm.
They got a shot to win this division. And I really believe that.
Yep.
I know you don't, because I saw your eyes roll in the back of your head like you were the Undertaker when I said that.
I don't buy that they're going to make that big of a jump. Because I think you're going to have to win 10 to get there.
I agree with you, but I don't 100% agree with you.
Okay,
this is still the grossest division in football, and it's not close. Tell me what's worse.
We just did it.
They have the Houston Texans. You ain't got one of those. Because I got news for you. The Houston Texans would blister you and the Atlanta Falcons on a neutral field. They'd beat you by 2.5 scores. I mean, they're just better than you, period. Your defense is awful, and Atlanta's defense scares me to death.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to talk about those two teams coming up, so I can elaborate on that in the next 41 minutes.
So the Panthers, what is the prediction?
I got them at 7-10. I feel very sure they're going 7, 8, or 9 wins. And I'm not sure I'm not more sure of Carolina than any team in the NFL. Your range is not wide.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel very, very good that you're going to win 7, 8, or 9 games. I was also today years old when I learned that Boogie Basham played for this team. Did you know that?
He plays for who? Carolina?
Carolina.
Okay.
I, honest to God, thought he was in the Bermuda Triangle. Like, he had disappeared off the face of the earth.
Uh-huh.
I loved him.
Will he get more playing time than Amari Barno?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. He might.
Okay.
Barno is kind of redundant with a couple of these guys.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We will, of course, have your coverage of the Carolina Panthers all season long right here in the Sportsocracy. Our hometown team is going to be making a couple of stops over to Bank of America Stadium this year as well, aren't we?
Yes, we are going to Bank of America for a handful of games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited. I'm also every time I look at that schedule and I know all the things coming, I'm like, I'm going to have to really enjoy that Wednesday off because the other 6 days of the week are going to be aggressive.
Indeed. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Continuing with the official Flostradamus predictions of the NFC South. Up next.
There's a lot to...
And we're clear.
In 2025, and for your Atlanta Braves, it's all about a fresh start.
1-2, he hits one well. Deep left field. Gonna head back to the wall. Boom! A 2-run home run!
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season.
Fly ball deep right field. Hanging high, carrying back to the chop house. Look out!
The mountain's home for the Braves. Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
Hey. If you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most. Attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day. But when we're driving, cooking, and working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
I lived on a commercial salmon fishing boat in Alaska, and I genuinely think that was the first time I've ever felt myself kind of like slipping mentally. I think Alaska does weird things to people.
If you're interested in hearing anonymous callers like this tell stories from their lives, check out my podcast, Therapy Gecko. You can listen to Therapy Gecko on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Therapy Gecko and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We're back in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville Prediction Week here on the program. After the release of the NFL schedule last week, now Flostradamus has had plenty of time to put his, big turban on and figure out who's going to win. First knee-jerk reaction predictions for the NFC South. You got the Saints at 4-13. You got the Carolina Panthers at 7-10. Who's the second-place team?
Fire them cannons, by golly. Put more powder in them things.
No fifth straight division title for the Bucs this year, so says Jeremy.
I mean, look, I think I feel the way about Tampa Bay the way that you do about Carolina.
Okay.
I don't think this is as good as people are making it out to be.
Okay.
And anytime Todd Bowles has expectations, you rest assured I'm going to bet against that.
Except for the last 4 years.
He didn't have any expectations.
Where there were expectations.
He didn't have expectations like this. He did not have expectations like this because nobody thought Baker Mayfield was this guy. You are a Bucs fan, and you made fun of the contract extension when it was signed. Last year, he comes out, he's third in the NFL in passing yards, and it doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is. This is different, and you know it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is. You don't even know his damn name. Oh, it's okay. Liam Cohen did it, and Dave Canales did it. We'll just be fine. I'm telling you, I've read this book. It's the Ryan Fitzpatrick year, the second year with the Jets, and everybody just said, oh, this is the year they're going to win the division. And they grumpered in their pants for 18 weeks, and it broke my brain.
Right.
You can call me a conspiracy theorist. You can call me whatever you want to. I have read this book before. Mm-hmm. When Todd Bowles has an expectation, and I love Buccaneer fans, I really do, because they tell me all of these things about what Todd Bowles wants to do. Like you, honest to God, think you know him better than I do. He broke a 35-year Jet fan, okay? I haven't loved this team the same way I did before him since him. And you know why? Because he put me up on a pedestal. Ryan Fitzpatrick had the best year in the history of the New York Jets. It was the best quarterback year they have ever had. Mm-hmm. And what happened the next year? Todd Bowles took over because he had all his guys, and now he can do what he wants to. And that defense got just foghorn leghorn beat like a kettle drum for 17 weeks. And I'm telling you, I see it in the cards. because your secondary is not that good. He's going to get crazy aggressive because that's what he does. The more you can always tell when Todd Bowles feels like he has his guys because he gets super aggressive. And what does that lead to? Beat over the top, beat over the top, beat over the top, beat over the top. And it just kept happening. Cardinals fan agrees. Hey, who'd Todd Bowles work for back in the day? Arizona Cardinals. Miami Dolphin fans, they'll agree with me too because we've all read this book. And then you look at the schedule for the Bucs, and I'm going to let you talk because I want to hear how you're going to explain to me that this team's going to win because their number's 10.5. The Vegas number on Tampa Bay is 10.5.
That's a lot.
Get me there. I can't wait to hear it.
In order to get there, you have to beat Philly, Detroit, Buffalo, on the road, by the way. At the Rams, at the Seahawks. You're going to have to win one of those games.
I got you to 9-8. All right,
which they can.
Okay, I got you to 9-8. You lost at the Falcons, at the Texans, at the Seahawks, at the Lions, at the Bills, at the Rams, the Falcons in Tampa Bay, at the Dolphins. And that Dolphin game is just a trap game. All right, if I give you the Dolphins, that still only gets you to 10. I have you beating the Eagles, the Patriots, the Cardinals, and the Panthers twice.
Okay.
I don't like 3 of those at all. At all. I don't like you beating the Philadelphia Eagles. The fact I said it out loud makes me angry at myself.
Well, when you've done it, it's hard not to see it happen, right? This team has beaten Philadelphia before. They've beaten Detroit before. As currently constituted. So it's hard not to imagine they could win one of those games.
Oh, it's easy for let's see. Let me break down my head. That's 4. 8 words. Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles. It's real easy for me to figure out how you don't do it.
Sure. But it's in the realm of possibility.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of things in the realms of possibility.
But I mean, that's the maddening part about being a Tampa Baker fan is that you can end up getting wins over the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions, and you can end up getting your face smushed by the Denver Broncos, or I don't know, get swept by the Atlanta Falcons in games that you did. You lost both those games last year by 1 combined touchdown. Maddening. That wasn't a good team. And you lost both of those games. But then you come back the next week and almost beat Kansas City. Absolute maddening. This team constantly lives in this 9-8, 10-7 world, and it's not going to change this year. It'll be the same thing over again. Because you'll still be able to score points. The offensive line hasn't changed. In fact, they've had time to get better, grow together. You've added another weapon to the offense. And the defense, I mean, you're throwing pieces at it. That's the best I got. I mean, I don't like all of the pieces. I don't like some of the pieces on this team. Logan Hall, I still don't get it. For some reason, I never saw it. Still don't see it. I don't know why he's still hanging around.
I just keep looking at the defense.
Anthony Walker, that's another one. What do you see?
It beats the bejesus out of me. And I said this about a team earlier when we were talking about offensive line pieces with the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Houston has a backup at every position that if this does not go well, I can just shade to right here and we're hunky-dunky.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay doesn't.
No.
That second team is a whole bunch of liabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you were talking about the offensive line and how it's gotten better and all of those things. You better hope you're right. Because you play a young Falcons team with two edge rushers that can both, at the end of the day, they can both get there. And they've got a lot of pieces. You play the Houston Texans, the New York Jets, the Philadelphia Eagles. That's just in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 really terrifying pass rushes. Then you go Seahawks, 49ers, Lions. I'm not going to say any of the 3 of them are terrifying. They have guys that can be terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
You get New England, Buffalo.
They've got the one, and I've got Tristan Wirfs to throw at you.
Okay, so, I'll put him on the other side.
I'm not saying they're going to win every. I'm not going to win every one of those battles, but I'm going to win the bunch.
Well, Tristan Wirfs is on the wrong side to deal with 2 of those guys because Aiden and Bosa play on the opposite side. So it's going to be Luke Goedecki going up against 2 of the best pass rushers in the league. This is one of those times I'm going to say it. We have talked about Tampa Bay now. I threw it out into the ether. And as the season goes on, you know that little cheese-eating grin I have where I just smile at you and go, you remember how I told you Todd Bowles never ceases to amaze me?
Mm-hmm.
And I know this dude like he's a family member. It's because I do. It's because I do. By the way, Tampa Bay's win-loss total has already been bet down a full number. It's down to 9.5. It started at 10.5. That means for a future number to be bet down a full game within a week of the schedule coming out means there is insane sharp money on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm. Because that's, I hate to say it, but seems like a pretty safe bet to me.
I agree.
10.5 is an insane expectation for a team that continually you still don't know what you're getting, other than the last 4 years. You knew you had the best team in the division. I mean, it took the last second of the season to prove it. But you did, and I don't think this division has changed in a year. Your official prediction for Tampa is
9-8.
9-8. Just good enough to sneak into the playoffs. Which brings us to the Atlanta Falcons. We'll take the break. When we return, Jeremy thinks the Falcons are going to win the NFC South. We'll hear his best case scenario coming up next.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Tracking some thunderstorms out of Tennessee.
Remind me after
the
the
west, some splash dash showers and thunderstorms here for today and tomorrow.
After the show's over, I got to tell you
70s
something.
this afternoon, low 80s tomorrow.
Okay.
Low temps tonight around 60 degrees with some isolated early evening storms. We are expecting a drop to the humidity later on this week towards Thursday and Friday with high temps only in the 60s and 70s to finish out the business week and lows in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Newcomb Tree Service.
For over 20 years, Newcomb Tree Service has been Asheville's trusted choice for tree removal, trimming, and emergency service. Fully insured, free estimates, and financing available. Call Newcomb if you need them. 828-777-1226. If you can't cut them, they'll nuke them.
Do you disregard people's personal space? Sitting next to people in public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's 72-hour sale is happening now. Save up to 72% off on top brands, with queens starting at $149.99. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. It's a great, it's a pretty good weekend. Despite the fact that I spent most of my day yesterday battling a migraine, which was not a lot of fun. But I did ruin one of my favorite foods this weekend, Jeremy. I didn't think there would come a time in my life where French fries would be ruined for me. But I hit that point. Because on Saturday night, the power went out at the house. And I had to make an audible because, well, didn't have any power to cook anything, right? Had already made a plan. It didn't come to fruition. So when the power goes out, I said, you know what, we got to hit the go-to, Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue. And I've been trying to branch out, right, not just get the same old thing every time I go there. So I got the bear fries, and the bear fries are just amazing. You can get your favorite meat on top of the fries, and then the fries are like cheese fries, cheese and bacon and all kinds of stuff on there. Absolutely ruined. I'll never have naked fries again without missing the bear fries at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue. It really is one of the most fantastic places I've ever eaten because there's not a single thing on the menu that isn't awesome. From the meats to the sides to the desserts, that apple crumb that they have is amazing. Plus, they got cocktails, live music on Thursdays and Saturday nights. 135 Cox Avenue, downtown. Second location in South Asheville on Sweeten Creek Road, inside Sweeten Creek Brewing. You want to check them out today. It should be your go-to. Anytime a wrench gets thrown into your plans for a meal, Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue. It's the place you should go. The official barbecue of the Sportsocracy. Check them out at bearsbbq.com.
I was marked safe from the great power outage circa 2025.
Oh, good.
Everybody showed up in our neighborhood because we didn't lose power. So we had 1 million people at the porch all saying, my power's out and I'm hungry.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Well, they have food. So you order right there. I don't know what you're telling me for, but
it worked out really well. We power went out and we checked the old Duke Energy app. And they were like, it might be on by 11. It's like, well, I'm not hanging around for that. Getting out of here.
I do enjoy Duke Power. It'll be on sometime between 9 p.m. and June 11th.
Right.
Thanks for that range. Appreciate that.
So, yeah, we went down and hung out at downtown, at the downtown location, and it was a beautiful afternoon, hanging out by or beautiful evening, I guess it was, hanging out by the fire pits. Roots and Door was up there playing blues. It was great. It was a great atmosphere. You should really check them out. All right, the official predictions of Flostradamus Jeremy Greene for the 2025 NFL season. The NFC South will be ruled by
the Atlanta Falcons.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, Atlanta. You remember all those things I said about your team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't have that same problem. They play you early. I have them losing to the Vikings and the Panthers on the road, which, as I'm looking at that now, I'm going, that's dumb. I don't know why I did that. I also haven't beaten the Commanders, so that kind of equals out because there was a reason I did that, but I don't remember what it was.
Because the NFL's tough to explain.
It is.
And they'll go on the road and lose to the Carolina Panthers by 2 touchdowns, and then they'll beat the Washington Commanders in overtime.
So from week 7 on, the Falcons play the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Colts, the Panthers, the Saints, the Jets, the Seahawks, your Buccaneers, the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Saints. Mm-hmm. How many of those games are really scary to you?
Really scary?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a handful.
3.
I mean, the Rams.
At the Patriots, the Rams, and at the Cardinals. That's what I've really got. I think you and the Bucs are so close.
Yeah, at the Bucs, that's definitely a scary game.
It's not a scary game though. Your division rivals, you're pretty equivalent. I guess that's kind of my point. You get the 2 scary games on this schedule. It's Commanders and the Bills are on both sides of a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams are in week 17. One of you may or may not have anything to play for. Other than that, it's a lot of games that you should be favored in. As much as I like New England, Atlanta should be favored in Foxborough in week 9. They should be favored against the Colts at home, which I, for some reason, have them losing, and I don't remember the reason. I think I have the right number in the wrong games.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe that. I think this is the year that Atlanta is going to show you what we thought they would be for the last 3 years. The schedule is lighter than Tampa Bay's, and I don't even think that's debatable.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, what position is Tampa Bay better than Atlanta?
Wide receiver.
I don't know that I agree with you.
But stop.
Drake London and Mike Evans. Actually, Drake London outperformed Mike Evans last year by a lot.
Okay.
Chris Godwin's coming off a horrific injury that I don't know what he's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
You have more, but I also don't think you're going to see a ton of 3 wide receiver sets from Atlanta. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I don't know what to expect from Michael Penix. You know who I do know what to expect from? Bijan Robinson. I also know there's absolutely zero way your defense isn't better than it was last year. And your schedule's light.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've actually got a pass rush, hopefully. Those 2
one of the 2 should be able to. I hate counting on rookie pass rushers, but I agree with you.
But that's all you got. That's where it goes, okay, so they should be able to get after a quarterback. Sure. But is Jalen Walker, James Pierce going to be as good or better than the 2 rookies from L.A. last year?
Fiske and Verse?
Yeah, and Verse.
I will say both will be better than Fiske. Neither will be better than Verse. So it winds up being 6 one way, half dozen the other.
Right.
Power ranking 4 guys. You have 2 and 3. They have 1 and 4. Kind of evens out.
Right. So I don't know if it's going to be a marked improvement in the Atlanta defense.
I will say it's a market improvement. They couldn't rush a passer to save their lives last year. I mean, it was pitiful. Like, you watch their games, there would be times quarterbacks wouldn't see a defender within an arm's length for 2 or 3 drives. It was bizarre to watch at times. Now, the secondary was a little bit better because I did like Justin Simmons being here. He wasn't all that good, but I did like having him here. I just think the defense is better.
But your secondary is still A.J. Terrell, Jesse Bates.
Xavier Watts.
That, I don't know how good he's going to be, though.
Xavier Watts? He was the safest player in this draft. Don't know how high the upside is. But, I mean, as a free safety with Jesse Bates on the underside of him, good freaking luck. You got a former wide receiver that's built like a brick excrement house that's just allowed to play high? Okay. The only thing that scares me is that they have so many slot corners. Mike Hughes, Billy Bowman, Clark Phillips, D. Alford, they're all slot guys. I don't really know what you're going to get on the outside, but Mike Hughes played pretty well last year in that role. So, I mean, look, I like this defense markedly better than I did last year. The Matthew Judon thing was a panic move. It was super obvious from super early on. I look at the receiving corps. Look, Darnell Mooney was good last year. I know you don't want to acknowledge that, but he was.
I mean, he's fine.
If you get anything from Kyle Pitts, that offense becomes pretty good in a hurry if Michael Penix is what he was advertised to be.
Right.
I mean, that's a huge question mark. Right. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it's any more of a question mark than Baker Mayfield. I'll tell you for damn sure it's not more of a question mark than Bryce Young. You made your eyes really big there. Baker's had one really good year in his entire career. Other than that, he's been a turnover machine.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, he was a turnover machine last year. I don't see where the advantage is for Tampa Bay. As soon as I saw the schedule, I went, yep, this is the year.
Yep.
This is the year. All of the pieces have come together. Atlanta is in really good shape. And you got Michael Penix in the second year.
And they were in really good shape, we thought, with Kirk Cousins last year.
Well, I mean, Kirk broke into 1,000 pieces. He was 84 years old.
But that didn't work. I don't have that risk with Michael Penix, I don't feel like. I mean, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here. Like, Michael Penix is just going to be completely terrible. Is that saying a lot? Not really.
Exactly.
Because Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback in the division now.
See, that's why none of that worries me.
Right behind him.
See, that's the reason none of it worries me. If he was having to beat, because you mentioned earlier that the AFC South is worse than the NFC South. Not in terms of winning it, it's not. Because I got to beat Baker, Penix, and Bryce Young. Over there, you got to beat C.J. Stroud. And I got news for you. He's better than every one of those guys I just said. By a lot. Michael Penix has to be a top 18 quarterback in the NFL. That's it. To win this division, that's all he needs to be. Because I have arguably the second best running back in the NFL. I've got a really good offensive line, and I've got an improved defense. Oh, by the way, I also play the easiest schedule in the division. Not in terms of win-loss record from last year, in terms of having an IQ above salad dressing and looking at it and going, how did the Falcons get this? Because every team they play that's in that line regressed horribly.
How did they get 13 winnable games? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Who did we screw?
I don't know. But they did.
Who did they screw? I don't know. Either way.
Or who did they get pictures of? Yeah.
Right.
Going down that same rabbit hole.
Right. So the Atlanta Falcons, your official prediction for them is
10-7. And I think I'm on the low side.
Well, I mean, yeah. It could be.
I mean, look, I have them losing to the Saints. I have them losing to the 49ers. I have them losing to the Colts. I have them losing to the Patriots. Now I also have them beating the Commanders and the Bills. So, those things equal out. I think 10-7 is the floor. I really do. I think 10-7 is the floor. They split with in theory, they split with the Bucs. What I said about how Carolina doesn't match up with you, I don't think you match up well with them. That's another part of this. I think they're going to beat you twice.
They did last year.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you have to go to them week 1, and then they come to you late in the season when Michael Penix has had all the time in the world to acclimate to being an NFL quarterback. James Pierce has had all the time in the world to become the pass rusher we think he is. That's not beneficial for Tampa Bay.
I agree. I think it's asking a lot, though. It's asking a lot of any season sweep in this division. Because, I mean, other than the Saints, obviously. Because now you have 3 teams in this division that are legitimate contenders. I mean, I'm willing to put Carolina into that category.
For sure. I am too.
Because we've seen it. We've seen it for the last 5 years. It comes down to the last game of the season, the last 2 games of the season. Everybody's got a shot. I mean, hell, even the Carolina Panthers had a shot. What was that, 2 years ago? 2 weeks left in the season? Like, perfect scenario, they could have been the champion of this division. It's going to be within reach. And that's why I say it's better than the AFC South, because you're going to have 3 teams that are in contention rather than just one team that's going to run away with it. But no, there's not a team considered to be there with the Houston Texans in this division. You're right. But it'll be a competitive one again. And it'll come down to the last couple of weeks of the season. We'll have to see who progresses by that time. You're in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. It's going to do it for us today. Tomorrow, we'll be back. 2 more divisions. Which direction are we going tomorrow?
East.
East.
Yep, we'll go southeast, northwest. I try to go around the dial face one way or the other just to be predictable.
All right, tune in tomorrow for the AFC NFC East official predictions of the season here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Tracking some thunderstorms out of Tennessee in from the west. Some splash-dash showers and thunderstorms here for today and tomorrow. Upper 70s this afternoon, low 80s tomorrow. Nighttime low temps tonight around 60 degrees with some isolated early evening storms. We are expecting a drop to the humidity later on this week towards Thursday and Friday with high temps only in the 60s and 70s to finish out the business week and lows in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by
Bojangles. It's always bow time.
The only thing you want after a Bojangles biscuit made from scratch with juicy country ham is another one. For a limited time, get 2 ham biscuits for $5. That's not 1, but 2 fluffy country ham buttermilk biscuits. Cravings meet savings. It's bow time.
Bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy league. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on ESPN Asheville.
Looking for a rewarding career with stability and purpose? The NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional officers statewide with a $10,000 sign-on bonus, competitive pay, and benefits. Visit dac.nc.gov/co-jobs.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Get rid of that musty, dusty smell in your home with help from the Zero Res Air Duct experts. Mention ESPN Asheville and get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Just use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and